You think hell is fire. Think again. Real hell is freezing, screaming with supersonic force, and it is waiting right at the edge of our solar system. Welcome to Neptune, the most terrifying planet we have ever discovered. Forget the idea of a quiet, cold world. This is a place of absolute cosmic nightmare. At the very edge of our neighborhood, this blue giant stands guard over the abyss, hiding secrets that would shatter any human explorer who dared to visit. It is a world where the laws of nature are pushed to their breaking point, where the wind can tear your very atoms apart before you speak. This is not just a planet. It is a chaotic engine of destruction, a sapphire prison of ice and pressure that defies every human instinct of survival. Neptune is not just a ball of gas. It is a living monster. A blue beast. He's exiled to the fringes of the universe, yet it never stops growling. It is a solitary predator lurking in the shadows, fueled by an ancient rage that we are only just beginning to understand from our safe, warm distance. Imagine a creature the size of 4 Earths, wrapped in a cloak of frozen mist, waiting in the silence of the dark for something to stumble by. This planet does not orbit the sun, it stalks it. It is a sentinel of the void, a guardian of the darkness that defines the outer reaches. To look at Neptune is to stare into the eye of a god that does not care if you live or die. It is beautifully, hauntingly indifferent. It wears a crown of ice and shadows, ruling over a kingdom where light is a stranger, and warmth is nothing more than a forgotten ancient dream. But the true horror begins with the air itself. On Neptune, and the wind does not just blow, it screams with a force that defies physics. Winds here reach speeds of 2,100 kilometers per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound, a supersonic hammer hitting everything in its path. If you could stand on its surface, your body would be shredded into dust by the air pressure before the sound of the wind even reached ears. There is no friction to slow them down. These winds have been raging for billions of years, circling the planet in an endless, violent blue loop. Nothing built by human hands could survive this. The very atmosphere is a meat grinder of gas and ice, moving with the energy of a nuclear explosion. These are not breezes, they are supersonic blades of methane. They carve through the atmosphere, creating a landscape of chaos where nothing can ever stay still. And the kinetic energy is so immense that even the cold air can burn through friction. It is a paradox of freezing temperatures and blistering kinetic heat. To match this speed, you would need to be in a supersonic jet at full throttle. Even then, the turbulence would crush you like an empty can. The air on Neptune is a weapon. It is a constant, unyielding assault that proves nature can be far more violent than any weapon of war. And then, there are the storms. Ghostly shadows that appear and disappear without warning, leaving nothing but devastation in their wake across the blue orb. These storms are the size of the entire Earth. They are not made of rain, but of the very souls of the planet's dark, frozen anger. When Voyager 2 passed, it saw a giant eye. When Hubble looked back, it was gone. These are ghost storms, phantoms that haunt the blue atmosphere. They emerge from the void, consume everything in their path, and then dissipate like a terrifying nightmare when the sun finally rises on another side. Inside these spots, the pressure is so intense it could compress a diamond. They are gravity's playground, where the very air becomes a solid wall. The planet is covered in these wounds. Each one a hurricane that makes our strongest terrestrial storms look like a gentle, harmless summer breeze on Earth. To be caught in one is to be erased. There is no surface to land on, only an endless fall into an increasingly heavy and violent darkness. These storms are proof that Neptune is alive and angry. It creates these monsters out of nothing, letting them roam until they eventually eat themselves alive. High above, delicate white clouds drift by, But even they are made of frozen poison, casting long, eerie shadows over the churning, dark blue hell below. But as you go deeper, the chemistry of the planet changes. The poison turns into something beautiful, yet far more lethal than any storm could be. The sky on Neptune does not rain water. It rains diamonds. Thousands of tons of precious stones falling from the heaven of a frozen blue giant. Crushing pressure at the core rips carbon from the methane, squeezing it into solid diamonds that sink through the atmosphere like stones in a dark ocean. Imagine a hail of gems, each one sharp enough to cut through steel, falling for thousands of miles through the dark, crushing weight of the planet. But they do not stay solid forever. As they reach the lower depths, the heat becomes so intense that even diamonds melt into a liquid sea. It is an ocean of liquid metal and carbon, a boiling, hellish soup hidden beneath the beautiful blue mask of the planet's outer atmosphere and clouds. There is no solid ground here, only an endless, crushing sea of liquid diamonds that would dissolve any probe we could ever dream of building today. It is a treasure chest that serves as a tomb, a place where the most valuable things on Earth are nothing more than common melting hailstones. Deep inside, Neptune hides its greatest secret. Despite being the furthest planet from the sun, it is burning from within with an ancient primal energy. It is a frozen furnace. Neptune radiates 2.5 times more heat than it absorbs, fueling its own storms with its own internal dying fire. Its magnetic field is a broken mess tilted at 47 degrees, and it is as if the heart of the monster is fractured and leaking energy everywhere. The planet's magnetism doesn't protect it. It creates a chaotic cage of radiation that would fry any electronic circuit within minutes of approaching its orbit. It is an engine of self-sustained fury. It does not need the sun to be violent. It carries all the power it needs deep in its heart. You might think Neptune is a lonely, forgotten world, a victim of the cold. But you are wrong. Neptune is a cunning and powerful cosmic predator. It kidnapped its largest moon, Triton. It pulled this rogue world from the Kuiper Belt and forced it into a permanent suicidal orbit around its blue mass. Triton is a prisoner, and the sentence is death. Neptune's gravity is slowly, relentlessly dragging the moon toward its ultimate destruction in the blue clouds. One day, Neptune will tear Triton apart, shredding its body into a ring of debris, a crown made from the bones of its most famous captive moon. It is a trophy of its power, a reminder that in this part of the solar system, only the strongest and most violent entities can survive long. Neptune does not hate us. It doesn't even know we exist. It just continues to roar in the dark, a blue giant in an empty, silent room. We are nothing to it. Our entire history, our wars, our triumphs are less than a single breath of its supersonic wind or a falling diamond. Standing here, you realize how fragile we are, how the universe was not made for us to live in, but to remind us of our smallness. It is a beautiful horror, a masterpiece of physics and destruction that sits at the edge of the light, waiting for the sun to eventually go out. Neptune is the true face of the outer void. Cold, beautiful, and absolutely terrifying. It is the end of the road and the beginning of infinity. Sleep well knowing that out there at the edge of our world, the monster is still breathing, still raining diamonds, and still waiting in the dark. Our journey ends here, at the blue frontier. But for Neptune, the storm has only just begun, and it will last for eternity in the silence. In the end, we are just observers of a majesty so great it would destroy us to touch it. Such is the nature of the cosmos. Remember the blue giant, remember the wind. And remember that the most beautiful things in the universe are often the most dangerous of all. Next time you look at the stars, think of the world where it rains diamonds and the air moves faster than a bullet. Think of Neptune, And thank you for joining us at the edge of the abyss. Stay curious, stay small, and never forget the monsters lurking in the blue, deep darkness. The universe is wide, and its secrets are cold. We are only just beginning to see what lies beyond the safety of our own small, warm sun. Because in the heart of the storm, Neptune is always watching, and it is always waiting. Good night from the edge of the solar system's blue hell.